So those four chords, that's actually going into the chorus. We'll touch on that at the end, but we're going to focus on what is the verse of this song. The song is called Believe, and it's off my latest album, Overcometh. I released that in December 2023. So this tune right here, or this part of the tune, we are playing in the key of C sharp minor. Now I'm in standard tuning here. I love this key. There are a lot of reasons why I love playing in this key in standard tuning, and we'll touch on that at the end, so do hang around for our guitar chat later. But in any case, we're going to break this down into two parts of the riff. They're very much the same, but what we're changing is the last part. So let's go through part one first. Again, we're starting with a C sharp power chord here in the key of C sharp minor. So that's going to be your A and D strings, frets 4 and 6. Okay, I'm going to share the parts with you, and then we'll play through each one together. I'll put the tabs up when we get to that part, okay? So we're playing on that, and then we're going to change that 4-6 to 4-7. Just gives you a really awesome sound. I love this. So I'm going to slow this down just to show you what I'm doing. But again, 4-6 and 4-7, we've just got some palm muting and a little bit of choppiness going on there. So check this out. That's pretty much it. And again, we'll play through that together with the tabs up in a second here. Before we get to that part though, I've just placed some power chords and let those ring out a bit. So we go from that C sharp power chord, and of course it's 4-6 and 4-7 like we just did, which changes that to a C sharp over an A. Well, we're going to flop over to, or flip, not flop, we're going to flip over to the E and A strings and pretty much do the exact same thing, okay? So we've got an A flat there on the 4th fret, and then that's going to be an A flat over the E. So we're going to go from here. Now, real quick, and this is just kind of my thinking in songwriting, I love going from that chord to this other, where you've just got those killer chords, man. They just sound really cool. Again, that C sharp over the A to the A flat over the E. I bet if you pause the video and just play around with those two chords, you would come up with some really cool stuff, some cool riffs and progressions, but don't do that quite yet. Let's finish this out. So I'm also going to hold out the A power chord after that. You can play your A wherever. I mean, if you want to play your A on the E and A string, right, 5 and 7, or if you want to play the open A up there, open A string with a 2nd fret on the D string, that's okay. Honestly, when I was on stage playing this a couple of months ago, we had a metal show. I probably played it different almost every time. Like I always tell you guys, go with what feels natural. Go with what feels most comfortable. You know, don't always try to figure out exactly the way you're supposed to do something, because you may feel that it sounds better and feels better if you play it like this or like that. And I encourage you to go with that, because that's your creativity that's starting to come out and blossom, okay? So anyway, you hold out those power chords, then we go to a B power chord after that. And I do something after that. I don't let that B power chord hold out too long before I go to this other cool thing. So what's interesting about what we just did is all part of that B power chord that we end on. In other words, that bass line, the theme, it stays on that B note. But what we do is we just kind of change things up a little bit by playing another power chord, starting with the F sharp, which again, that's part of that B power chord there. You've got your B note, followed by an F sharp note to make up that B power chord. We're gonna flip things around a little bit and start on that F sharp note. Play another power chord here, going over to the D and the G strings. So that's gonna be 4 and 6 on D and G strings. So now we've got basically an F sharp power chord. Then we're gonna lift the finger off of the 6th fret on the G string so that we've got 4 and 4 barred right here. So that turns into the an inversion of the B power chord there, like this. You hear how that all kind of flows together, and this is just another riff writing tip I want to share with you. Sometimes you might want to let something ring out and that sounds great. Other times you might say, hey, you know what, let's throw something in. Well, just take some other notes within that chord, within that little system there, and just see what you can do with it. So I'm going to throw the tabs up for this first part here. We're going to go through that together. We'll play through it. Let's play through that about 3 times, and then part 2 that we go over after that will be shorter because the only thing that changes is the last little riff. So here's part 1 with the tabs. All right, part 2, we won't spend a lot of time on. We do everything exactly the same until we get to that last part. So the only thing that we're changing here is what we play in conjunction with that last B. So the first time around, what we did was this. This final time around, the second time around, before it goes into the chorus of the song, we do this instead. It's a little cool little simple riff here. All we're doing here is just playing a few simple notes. I mean, it's just a little bit of back and forth. So I'm going to slow this down for you. Okay, just watch what I'm doing here. But basically, we're just going back and forth on the 2nd and the 4th fret. Okay, we're on the A and E string here. So we've got 2. We're going to go to 4, fret 4 on the E string. And then 2, and then we've got a 4th fret on the A. Just watch my fingers, and I'll throw the tabs up so you can see that, okay? It is time for our usual guitar chat, guys, but first, if you do not have my free practice guide, Metal Riffs and Licks, grab a copy of that. That has literally helped thousands of guitar players here on my YouTube channel, and I give that away to all of my YouTube subscribers. So there's a link in the description of the video to get a copy of that. If you already have my practice guide, and hey, check out my online guitar courses on metalmastermind.com. If you're just starting out or you need to revisit the fundamentals of metal guitar, I've got a course called Metal Guitar Apprentice. Now, if you're beyond that point, you just want to learn some new riffs in different keys and just implement a variety of techniques, then check out my course called Metal Riff Master. Links for all that good stuff is in the description of this video. The key of C sharp minor. It is, again, one of my absolute favorite keys to play in. And here's the thing, playing in a different key, and it may or may not be different for you. I mean, some of you may actually play in this key. Now, I'm not talking about tuning to a key. I'm talking about being, in whatever tuning that you normally play in. I'm in standard tuning here, but playing somewhere on your fingerboard where you don't normally play at. Starting out in a different place where you don't normally start from. Now, of course, C sharp minor has become kind of a familiar, well, a very familiar key to me. Part of the reason is because I do a lot of live solo acoustic gigs, and I found that that key, C sharp minor, and of course the key that kind of goes with it, F sharp minor, those keys work well for me vocally when I'm playing acoustic. More so though, I can play more open strings in those keys. In other words, I can play a C sharp minor, like almost like a power chord, like a bar chord, but I can leave that B and E string open. It just gives a really beautiful sound. So I guess I've written some other songs that are more rock and metal in that key, so that if I ever decide to do an acoustic version of it, it just sounds really cool. And actually I may be doing an acoustic version soon of the song that you learned in this video here, which again, that song is called Believe. Probably one of the more powerful, lyrically powerful songs that I've written. The song is all about really just believing in yourself. I mean, that's something that I had a really tough time with in my younger years. And to tell you that I don't still struggle with that from time to time, well, I wouldn't be telling you the truth. I think sometimes we all struggle with believing that we can go to that next level, or that sometimes things that just seem too far out of reach for us are like, you know, that's reserved for other people. It can't possibly be something that's for me. We used to talk about that when you see someone famous or hear about a famous musician that you like, or anybody. It's like, okay, well that space is reserved for them. There's no way I can ever get to that level or have that amount of success. I want you to cut that talk out. Get that stuff out of your head. It's complete garbage. Now that doesn't mean that you can be what this person is or what that person is. That's not what this is all about, guys. This is all about being who you are truly meant to be. It's about carrying out this grand path that the universe wants you to be on. I strongly believe that. I strongly believe that there is a supreme version of each and every one of you watching this right now, myself included. There is a supreme version of us that if we go on certain paths and we believe in ourselves and we believe that we can attain that and that we do everything in our power to attain that, right? I think we got to give the universe a little something to work with here. I don't think you can just sit around and hum chants all day and become what you're truly meant to be. But I do believe that if you believe in yourself, that you can attain that you allow that guidance within, okay, that next step that you need to take. Okay, we're here. Now let's take the next step after that. And it doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect. It doesn't mean everything's going to fall right in line. But you know what, guys? That's just part of the journey of life. It's a beautiful part of the journey. So I really want you to believe in yourself, in everything that you do, in guitar playing, in songwriting, in your job, your business, your relationships. Believe in yourself. Believe that deep down, you know there's this grand version of yourself, that you're allowing that version to just come alive each and every day. By the way, if you'd like to catch the lyric video of this song Believe, I'll put that up there for you, so do check that out. I also played the song Believe in concert. I've got a video right up here if you haven't seen that yet. And of course, the next lesson, when that's available, I'll put that down here. That'll be the bridge to this song. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. As always, keep it metal and keep playing music.